I don't know.
John, you're muted.
You've been on every playoff team that the Texans have had. How frustrating is it you to make the playoffs as many times as you have and not be able to get beyond the second round?
Oh, John, the first question of the first day of you being physically at training camp, and you're going to put me into a negative mindset right out of the gate. It is.
JJ, how did your first padded practice go today?
No, I mean, it's obviously frustrating. I mean, there's one goal and one goal only, and that's to bring a championship to this city. So that's what we continue to work for. That's why we continue to put in the work and continue to do what we do. And the goal has not changed. Obviously, to accomplish a goal that you haven't been able to accomplish yet, you have to change things, figure things out, and do things better. And that's what we're working to do, is improve so that we can accomplish that goal.
John, follow up.
Yeah, Paul, do you ever worry that time could be running out? You need a sense of urgency, or do you have that as it is?
I mean, I think there's always that, no matter what point you're at in your career ever. I mean, at some point, time runs out for everybody. That's just a fact. So I'd prefer to get things done sooner rather than later. But in terms of, do I feel like this is it, or the next one is it? No, I don't think so.
Aaron Wilson.
Hey, JJ, what was today like for you to be back in pads, to be back out there? And as Bill O'Brien was saying earlier, it is a strange circumstance the way this whole season may go. But what did you think of the first padded practice, and just kind of what was the emotions like?
Yeah, it has been a bit of a weird time, obviously, with the COVID testing every day, the social distancing, everything that we're doing that's different from a normal training camp. But today was, I don't know if I was surprised by it, but I was very, it felt like the first time you got to put the pads on as a rookie in the NFL. It's that you put the pads on, things are different. It's football. It's real football. All that stuff kind of melted away for a couple hours out there, and it's real football. You get to hit, you get to, pop the pads, you get to just be physical, and it was fun. I mean, I got that old school feeling, and it felt really good.
Mark Berman.
Hello, JJ. How are you?
Good. How are you, Mark?
PJ Hall, when he was at Sam Houston State, he had a lot of success, and his teammates were comparing him to JJ Watt. And so he incorporated your name into his Twitter handle. And I don't know if you're aware of that or not. It's still there. It's JJ Watt is part of his handle. What do you think about that? How cool is that?
That's pretty cool. I've seen PJ very briefly. He got introduced to the defense the other day, but he's still working through some of the protocols to get up with us at practice. So I haven't fully had a chance to sit down with him yet, but I'm excited about that. I mean, it's an honor to have somebody who thinks highly of you like that. I've watched many Sam Houston games over my career, from them playing here in the Piney Woods, and obviously being so close to us. So excited to have him on the team. Hopefully I don't let him down.
Brian.
Hey, JJ, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Early in your career, you dealt with just incredible fame, and a little bit of it was sort of out of nowhere. In college, you weren't the Heisman winner, the star player in the country. Deshaun dealt with a lot of fame early on, in college, and came to the Texans as the #1 pick and potentially a franchise quarterback. So the situation's a little different, but I'm sure you can relate to a lot of things that he's had to deal with and adjust to. How have you seen him evolve as a leader and just kind of balance everything that a superstar player in the NFL has to deal with?
Yeah, he's done a good job with it. I mean, he understands the situation he's in. Like you said, he's come from a situation where he's won national championships. He's been there for the Heisman. He's done all those things. So he's kind of built up that reputation. He's also lived through it. So he knows how to handle big moments. He knows how to handle those situations and not let it get to him and not let it knock him off his course. So the work always comes first, and I think he does a good job with that, and he does a good job with our team.
Christy.
JJ, I wonder, now that you're back to work with football, did you pick up any hobbies or learn any new skills or do anything different or random during quarantine that people might be interested in?
Not really, no. My wife is learning the piano, so that looks hard. So I don't think I'm gonna do that. Did a lot of business stuff, just looking through and teaching myself about the business world and finances, investments, things like that, and trying to make sure I'm as financially literate as I can be moving forward, because it's something as a young player I wasn't necessarily concerned or worried about. So I would say that's something that I learned and picked up. But in terms of actual hobbies, it wasn't like whittling birdhouses or anything. I cut the grass a lot when I was back in Wisconsin. I did become a very big fan. I have a lot of land back there, like 38 acres. So I cut the grass and I would line the field. So I have a lot of respect for groundskeepers.
Aaron Reese.
Hey, JJ, I didn't see any of you guys wearing that special kind of COVID face mask, but I'm wondering if you tried it on and had any thoughts on it or anything like that.
No, I have not tried it, and I do not plan to.
Brandon.
Hey, JJ, how do you teach? Are you, especially being an elite player, are you able to teach other guys some of the things that you do, or are you more of a kind of an example guy?
It's something that I've actually worked on over the years. It's something that I've had to physically work on to make sure that I can articulate the things that I want to say in the best way possible, because there's some things that on the field that I can do that some other guy has a different skill set that he has to do a different way, or there's something another guy can do that I can't do. So what I had to learn over time was how to properly articulate a coaching point to a younger player. And I think that's something that I've actually worked hard on, and I think I'm getting a lot better at. So with a young guy now, let's say it's Ross or Big Z or whoever it is on our D line, I do think I can communicate that a lot better and say, hey, I think this is what you're seeing. Here's what I would do in that situation, and here's where your eyes should be, or here's where your feet would be. Not necessarily saying this is what I would do, because obviously as a player who's been in the league for a long time and who sees things a little differently, a rookie's not necessarily at that point. So you can't throw on them, hey, when it's gun near and they have a guy in this set, I'm going to take that C gap right out of the gate. He's going to get yelled at if he tries to do that. And I don't want him to get yelled at by the coaches. So I'm going to say, key your eyes on his inside shoulder and place your hands here, and then make sure you have the C gap secured. So you just have to do things like that where you putting it in context that they can understand, and also trying not to overwhelm them, because these rookies have thousands of things flying through their mind right now, especially this year more than ever, and you don't want to overwhelm them.
And one quick thing, what's been your observation of the rookies so far?
They've done a good job. I mean, it's like we've said the whole time, it's tough to fully evaluate so far in what we've done. Today was the first day in pads, and you really can't tell until you put pads on what a football player is like. But I've liked them so far. They've done a good job trying to learn their playbook best they can, getting out there, performing. We got to get them up to speed a little better on their rookie duties in terms of, what's expected of a rookie, and carrying pads or whatever it may be. So they'll get it.
Wax. Oh, Wax, we can't hear you. Sorry. John?
JJ, other than injuries, what is the key thing that would help the Texans get to the AFC Championship game for the first time?
Scoring more points than all the teams we face.
And win more games?
Yes, that's correct. I mean, there's many things we talked about in our last session. We got to be better in the red zone on defense. We want to get off the field on third down. We want to maximize our takeaway opportunities, give the ball back to the offense, and let Deshaun and those guys do what they do on that side of the ball. But from our perspective, that's what it comes down to. It comes down to stopping the run in the early downs, putting them in tough situations on third down, getting off the field. And then when they do get down there in the red zone, holding them to field goal opportunities or taking the ball away. I mean, that's really, when you break it down, that's what it comes down to.
Guys, one more, please.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
You guys came close to hosting an AFC Championship game. Have you ever envisioned what it would be like to host the AFC Championship game at NRG Stadium for a chance to go to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I've done that since the day I got drafted here. I mean, that's the whole goal. That's the final step before the actual goal. So, yes, I do. And who knows what that would look like this year. I haven't quite envisioned exactly how it would look in the COVID era with fans, no fans, however that works. But winning the game all the same is the goal.
All right, Matt, go ahead.
JJ, so many question marks going into this. Just a few weeks ago, what's the feeling that you have now? And have you talked with your brothers or other peers from other teams? Is the feeling overall amongst players, hey, we're going to do this. This is going forward. We're going to have a season for sure.
Yeah, I think that we're all settling in after a couple weeks here. Everybody's kind of used to the protocols. Everybody's used to how the building works and how everything happens. And now, especially for us, we're in pads. I'm sure the other teams are getting into pads in the next couple of days. It starts to get more and more normal. And I think the biggest thing for all of us during that time is the more normal it gets, the more complacent you could get when it comes to COVID, because you start to fall into a normal routine and you think, okay, I can relax a little bit on the rules. And I think that as long as we all understand and abide by those as we keep going, I do think it will be successful. It just comes down to making sure that we continue, obviously, having the daily testing and having guys doing the right things when they step away from this building, which so far everybody seems to be doing a great job of.
Go ahead.
JJ, what's been the most challenging part about this training camp in particular?
It's just different than most because obviously you don't have preseason games you're building up to. You don't have just those like game-like atmospheres, and you're figuring out how to ramp it all the way up, but also not ramp it up too fast because some guys are in certain different situations. And so I think that OB and Jack have done a great job creating the schedule. And personally, for me, we've sat down and OB and I have talked, and we're creating a very customized schedule to make sure that it all points towards that first game in Kansas City, where personally I can have a tendency to get very amped up and I want to, be all out every day. And the biggest thing is remembering that this is all leading up to a game in Kansas City. So the schedule that we've got and the plan that we have in place is a very good one. And sometimes I have to respect and appreciate that we're all doing the right thing to get there.
We'll take a few more. Aaron Wilson.
JJ, I got a non-football question for you. When you are an athlete, professional athlete like you are, you get marketing opportunities, branding, things like that. How tough is it to pick who you want to associate with, and what advice do you give to Deshaun Watson as those opportunities start to come his way in terms of commercials and other opportunities? Thank you.
Yeah, I think there's obviously a whole process, and you have you try and put people around you that have your best interests in mind and who also align with what your ideas and goals are. And so, when stuff starts to come along, the biggest thing is that the work always comes first. I know Deshaun knows that, and that's kind of what my mentality always was. I always told anybody, whether it was an agent or somebody we were doing a commercial with or a company, I said, no commercial or no event, no endorsement is ever going to come in the way of a workout. So if I have a film commercial on the day that I'm supposed to have a workout, the workout will be done first, and then we can go film. And I think he has the exact same mentality. And I think it comes down to trying to find things you believe in, things you're passionate about. But at the end of the day, there's also no hiding anything here. There's financial opportunities as well. So it's just how do all of those things align for one common thing. And then it's honestly a process of feeling it out as you go. You're not, as you go, you're going to learn that, oh man, that might have been too many opportunities for me to take, or I wish I would have done this opportunity instead. You learn as you go, and then nothing's ever perfect, but I think you have to, as long as you have a good team around you and you have a good head on your shoulders, you'll always find a good way in the end.
We'll go a couple more. Cody Davis.
Hey, JJ, I hope all is well, man. Can you talk about your expectations for this defensive line, especially given the fact that DJ Reader is no longer here?
Yeah, like I said in the last press conference, obviously we're going to miss DJ. DJ is one of my best friends, and I know he's going to go on and do great things in Cincinnati. But I love the group that we have. I love the guys that we have. I love Weave as our coach. We have a lot of fun in our group. We really have great camaraderie, great chemistry. The guys enjoy being around each other. We joke around, we laugh around, but then when it's time to work, we lock in and we work. We have really good communication this year. I think that some of the things we've talked about, some of the higher level things that we're talking about now with the chemistry that we have are really good. And I do have high expectations. And I'm excited to get out there with them. And it's not just the D-line, it's the outside backers, whether it's the third down package or it's the backers behind us with BMAC and Zach. And then fitting in the scheme of the whole defense in general with the DBs as well. We have a really good group, and I really enjoy going to work with these guys, and I enjoy what we was doing.
Last one from Mark Berman.
JJ, a non-football question, because obviously you can't have fans out here like today. Deshaun's doing virtual autographs to 25 season ticket holders. Whitney's talking to fans on Zoom after practice. There's the mural of fans on the practice field. What do you think about the way the organization and you guys are trying to reach out to the fans who can't be here right now?
Yeah, we understand everybody's going through a tough time. And I know that we wish the fans were out here, and I know the fans wish that they were out here. So we're sending our best to them, and we appreciate their support and everything that they do to support us. And we look forward to putting a good product on the field for them to cheer for and get loud for. So it's a tough time. You know, everybody in the country is going through a very difficult time. And so if we are able to do this and be successful with this and put on a performance this season, I think it's going to be great to give people a chance to escape and get away and have a sense of normalcy.
Thank you, JJ.
Thank you.